Before I say anything else, I want you to know, God saw you sit down to watch this. He knows the weight you've been carrying. He knows the name you've been whispering in prayer at 2 in the morning. He knows your son. And I need you to hear this today, not as a motivational message, not as good advice, but as a word from the Father's heart directly to yours. Philippians 4 verse 6 says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." Now I know what you're thinking, Pastor, you don't know what my son is going through. You don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've heard. And you're right. I may not know. But God does. And that verse is not a suggestion. That's a promise with an instruction attached to it. The enemy wants you to believe that worry is the most faithful thing you can do for your child. That if you stop anxiously pacing, you've somehow stopped caring. But I want to break that lie right now, because worry is not intercession. Worry is fear dressed in a mother's love, a father's concern. Real intercession is when you take that fear, and you lay it at the feet of Jesus. Isaiah 49 verse 25 declares, and this is God Himself speaking, "I will contend with those who contend with you, and I will save your children." Did you hear that? God said your children. Not someone else's. Not the children of people who have it all together. Your children. The ones who have wandered. The ones who are confused. The ones who are lost in places that break your heart to even think about. God said, "I will save them." So right now, I'm speaking prophetically to every parent who has been holding on to a picture in their mind of who their son used to be, praying he finds his way back. The prodigal son's father in Luke 15, he didn't chase him down. He didn't manipulate the situation. He waited. He watched. And Scripture says that when the son was still a great way off, the father saw him. That means the father had been looking. That means he never stopped watching the road. God is watching the road for your son. And I want to speak something into the atmosphere over your son right now. Chains are being broken. Confusion is being lifted. The same God who called Lazarus out of the tomb, John 11 verse 43, is calling your son out of whatever has had him bound. Because death, addiction, rebellion, distance, none of it has the final word. Jesus does. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for him, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give him a future and a hope." That verse wasn't just written for the people of Israel in Babylonian exile. That word is alive and it is active and it has your son's name on it today. So here is your pastoral word, and receive this with everything in you. Stop grieving like God has forgotten him. He hasn't. Start praying like the God who parts seas and raises the dead is your son's father too. Because he is. Cry if you need to. It's okay. The tears of a praying parent are never wasted before the throne of God. Psalm 56 verse 8 says He collects every one of your tears in a bottle. He counts them. Not one prayer you have ever prayed over your son has fallen to the ground. And I prophetically declare right now, that the story is not over. The last chapter has not been written. What the enemy meant to destroy, God is about to redeem. And one day, you are going to see your son walking in the fullness of who God called him to be, and you will look back at this very moment, this moment of fear and worry, and you will say, God was faithful. He was faithful all along. Hold on. Keep praying. And trust the Father, because your son is not outside of his reach.